Winter evening wrapped the house in a gloomy atmosphere. The wind howled, and the snow fell in big flakes, as if vanishing into the cold darkness. The house was located far from civilization, surrounded by dense woods that seemed cozy during the day but turned into a sinister place at night. A young girl named Emily lived in this house. She was introverted and strange, always wearing long dresses and avoiding society. Locals whispered that a tragedy had occurred in the house she lived in, and now it was inhabited by shadows of the past. One evening, during a strong storm, someone knocked on Emily's door. She opened the door and saw a boy freezing under the snowfall. He introduced himself as Michael and asked for shelter from the storm. Reluctantly, Emily allowed him in. An atmosphere of unknown fear pervaded the house. Michael felt that something was off about the house, but he didn't want to stay out in the cold. As soon as he stepped over the threshold, the door slammed shut with a loud bang, as if an invisible force inside the house didn't want to let him leave. Michael and Emily spent the night in this eerie house. Throughout the night, they heard strange sounds, moans, knocking, rustling. Emily whispered that the souls of the deceased were tormented in the house, but Michael firmly dismissed her words, convincing himself that it was just the wind outside. But in the morning, he discovered that the door through which he had entered had disappeared. In its place was a wall, as if the house was taunting him. Emily told him to calm down, but fear gripped him. They began searching for another way out, but all the doors were locked. With each passing hour, the house seemed to come alive. The walls moved like breathing lungs, and shadows slid through the rooms as if they were living creatures. Emily explained to Michael that the trapped souls in the house were seeking an exit to the world of the living, and someone among them wanted to use his body to achieve that. Fear made Michael wake up even at the slightest sounds. Every rustle, every creak made his heart beat faster. He saw ghosts, flickering figures slowly approaching him. Days and nights merged into one agonizing time. One day, when Emily disappeared for a few hours, Michael decided to find a way to escape this nightmare. He found an old diary that described how a soul trapped in the house could leave it only by finding a new host body. With fear in his heart, Michael realized that Emily had always been obsessed with the house. She had become a part of it, its mistress. And he realized that now he had to become a part of this nightmare to free her. Michael stayed in the house, and his soul began to merge with the eerie shadows of the past. He felt the souls of the deceased taking him captive, possessing his mind. He became part of this horrifying house, and his screams became part of the endless choir of tormented souls. Since then, no one has seen Emily or Michael. The house stands far from civilization, devouring new victims one by one. Terrifying stories about this house are passed down from generation to generation, reminding us that even in the most ordinary reality, something sinister and incomprehensible may lurk.